Hey guys, it's Charles Österlund here with Liquid Blue Cabarete in Cabarete, Dominican Republic. And today I'm going to be bringing you a video that is something that I didn't expect I would be trying out, but it is the new toys from F1. We're going to be making two different videos, one of them being, which is this one, about the Frigate, and then the other one, which is going to be about the Plume. Right now though, we're going to be watching about the Frigate. In terms of even the name, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but that's how I read it, Frigate. This is a 4.0, and basically this is a parawing. So this is brand new, I haven't even opened it yet. You guys are gonna see this all live. So I really hope it's organized, or else we're gonna have a bit of a setup. So I got that right here. So this is a parawing. I wasn't thinking to get it, but one of my friends, William from Puerto Rico, he's like, Charles, you gotta be at the forefront. You gotta try out the things as they come out. And here we are. Give me 1 second. Okay, this one. Boom. So that's why we're here testing this out. We just got them, and I think all around the world now, everyone's starting to get them. I'm starting to see some review videos come up. I haven't really watched too many review videos, but I do get the idea that it is a wing that flies in one hand. One thing I am curious about is where the leash is on this. 1 second. Or is this something that just flies in your hand the whole time? All right, so you see, we're learning as we go. Let me just open this up. Epa. All right, so here we go. I got it up in my hands. As you guys know, I kiteboard, I wing foil, I surf, I do all types of sports. So you saw that came up pretty quick. Already you can see pretty intuitive, right? To fly it. Let me see what happens when you pull on the back handle. Okay, it back stalls. So yeah, so it looks like your two hands are gonna be somewhere here when flying it. It definitely pulls, but let me see here. It definitely pulls. Let me bring this down. And I see about what they're saying about how it flies. Someone has a book flying. But yeah, so to be honest, seems pretty intuitive. One thing that I saw in the videos is about stashing it away. So this is the handle. Okay. And then packing it up. I don't think I'm gonna get to this stage right now about packing it up as we're riding. But there you go. I don't know anything, and that came out pretty easy. Let me see one more time. So you pull it. I saw the guys, they bring it up to here, then they store it away, and then let's see, they throw it back, and we go again. All right, guys. So this video is gonna be a quick one, at least here on the beach, because this is just the first impressions of this parawing, which is interesting. One thing I am curious about is that there's no leash. So I wonder if I have to add that separately, or if it has something to do. Yeah, so I'm wondering if that has to do with something separately. If that comes separately, I didn't look, to be honest. But what I will do is that if the Plume has a leash on it, then I'll just take that off, or I'll even get another one, just to add it to this. But I see what they're talking about, the handle. So it really disengages pretty easily. Now from here, you're gonna have to have your technique on how to store it, which we're gonna get to probably in another video. But for today, let me just see if this flies again. Oh, it's reverse. Okay, you see it came back up. So that whole part, we're gonna try it out in another moment. But for now, what we will do is fly this in the water and just try to get riding and foiling. I don't wanna let it go. I'm very tempted to let it go just to see how far it flies. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna put on a leash to this just so it's on my wrist. And I don't know if it has something to do with these. But anyways, guys, so you'll see in the coming video, I'm gonna go out there, try this bad boy out. I'm using an 84 liter, just hold this like this. I'm using an 84 liter board, a bigger foil than normal. This is the Rocket Crossover 84 liters. And then I'm gonna have the 1080 or 1050 Phantom, or not Phantom, sorry, mixing it up, the Skate. And we're gonna try out this setup We're gonna go out with this 4.0 Frigate, which should be good for Cabarete conditions, which is between 15 to 25 knots. It seems like with the Para Wing and the K-Wing that they're recommending 15 knots plus. So I haven't tried it out, so I can't tell you what's the real low end on it, but I can tell you that it does seem, let me just fly this up one more time, that it does seem a little bit that there is power, and I'll for sure get up on foil on this, but I can tell that that it's not as powerful, or how you're gonna pump it is not gonna be the same, because it'll move around in the window. So yeah, so anyways, so we're gonna try that out. It seems pretty intuitive. You're gonna see us in the water soon, and let's go from there, guys. So let's get this bad boy to get tested out. Whoop. I don't know, and I would almost imagine something like this. Probably don't want to fold it up like that. We'll have an instructional video later on about how to fold this up. But the good thing is that once you have it, and you let it go, oh, kite loop. There we go. Nope. There we go. All right, so we'll play around with that. Anyways, let's get into the water. Stay tuned for the next part. First session out there. You. Hey guys, it's Charles here. Just got off the water. Let me wrap this up real quick. Something like that, little Kawasaki spin. Anyways, so we just got off the water, tested out the Frigate, tested out the Plume. This is gonna be the same outro for both videos that we just did. So if you're watching the Frigate video, then you're gonna get the summary as well as the Plume. And if you're watching the Plume video, you're also gonna get the summary of the Frigate. But in any case, guys, I tried out the two wings, or K. This is a K-wing, this is a para-wing. But I tried them out. This is the 5.0 Plume. This is the 4.0 or 4.2 Frigate. Essentially equivalent in size in terms of the wind that you require to fly them in, which is around 15 knots plus. I was using this 84-liter board, which is the crossover, the rocket crossover, with a 1050 SK8 foil. So a lot of the guys that have been trying out this sport have been trying it out with like downwinder boards, 90 liters, 105 liters plus. And me, I used what I got. It worked out. You're gonna see in the video that you just watched, you probably saw it, where it took me 2 tries to get up on the Plume. The first try was a little bit odd, just the wind was, there's a bit of a wind shadow in the entry. And then once I was further out, I got up and riding. And same with the Frigate, it was pretty much right away. One thing that I did notice, and I mentioned it, you see the Plume has a leash. The Frigate did not come with a leash. I'm gonna do a little bit more research if people use it with a leash. But I did see that it came with a harness hook. And now I understand why. This thing has so much power in your hands. My forearms were on fire. I was like, holy moly, don't let go, Charles, because who knows what's gonna happen. And that was the interesting experience. This was very manageable in the arms. I felt like a little bit less pressure, good way to pumping it. This was a little bit more squirmy, a little bit lighter in the power in the beginning, but once you're up and riding, you're like nuking. So the reality is that you could probably get away with smaller wings once you're more advanced, and then it's probably gonna be a lot better also for packing it up and everything. I still have to get in the habit of packing it up. I tried, I think, twice. It might be on the video, we might have caught it. I also tried to flip this wing around and launch it again. So, you know, it's gonna take some time to getting used to. I saw people have like a bag to put this in. To be honest, I don't have a bag, and I probably should even get, if anything, a higher aspect foil for this type of riding, because this is a mid aspect, let's say, wing setup that you can catch waves and you can glide, but if it doesn't have much power, you really have to work it compared to, let's say, an Eagle or something like that that just has a bit more glide. So that's the only note that I can have in terms of the foil setup, as well as the board. That the board I could probably use. In reality, now it's fine with this wind, but if you have more volume and you're learning, you're gonna appreciate that, as well as if you have a bigger foil and you're trying it out, you're also gonna appreciate that. So you really wanna have the right size wing, the right size board and foil, and then also pair it up with the right size para-wing or K-wing in this case. And I'm going back to it. Is this gonna replace wing foiling for me? I don't think so. Will I try it out, experiment a little bit more, maybe get an Eagle in the quiver to have like some downwind sessions, because there are some nice downwind sessions? Potentially. Am I gonna try to get the bag? Am I gonna mess around with it a little bit more? Yes. And I also, the reason why I got these two in these sizes, that's the most common size for here in Cabarete, and I want other people to try it, you know, have their thoughts on it. This one though, I am gonna figure out if we need a wrist leash and also the harness hook. Harness hook definitely recommended, because I was out there for maybe a 5-minute or 10-minute session, back and forth, couple tacks, and I was like, holy moly, my arms are gonna rip off, right? I didn't have that on the K-wing, but I did have that on the Frigate, which is the para-wing. So in any case, interesting sport. This is just my first impression, guys. Like I said, I don't have the full setup that you might see in other videos where they're really putting everything together. Me, I just wanted to see, can I buy a para-wing or a K-wing and use the gear I got and get riding? And I was able to. As you can tell, this is a classic day. You know, this is around 15 knots steady, up to like 18 to 22 roughly. Let's say a little bit out there, it's a little bit further. You see this kiter, he's on a 10 meter and he's doing fine, he will be doing fine. So that's that, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, or these two videos. If you're watching one or the other, make sure you check the other one out, because I go a little bit more in depth about my first impression when flying it here on the beach and then going into the water. I do recommend getting the hang of flying these on the beach first, play with it for 20, 30 minutes. You know, I played with it a couple minutes both, And then I went out, and then same when you get out there, you know, I didn't go out with a board leash, so that's maybe something to consider, using a board leash. I always ride without a board leash, so that's one thing. The other thing is that I also did a little interesting technique where I kept the wing up, was just body dragging a little bit, just to get the feel for it. And then going from my knees, I just keep that wing up there and I push off with one hand, and I get up onto my knees and I get standing. So if you don't have much balance, you're gonna need more volume, that's gonna help. And if you have a hard time pumping, whether pumping with your hands or with your feet, you're definitely gonna benefit from having your foil a little bit more forward and a bigger foil. But in any case, if you have any questions, any thoughts, if you're trying out the Parawing or the K-Wing, make sure to let me know, because I'm curious to know, what is your experience? What are your thoughts? Do you come from a kiting, a winging background and you're trying this out? That's also another note that I'll talk about in another video, which is, I think to getting into these two sports, you need to be a wingfoiler, you need to be a kiter beforehand. Well, probably a wingfoiler. I don't know if kiting's gonna help you too much. Maybe with this one, it could work out. But you definitely need to be a foiler, and most likely a wingfoiler, to get into these sports, you know? So I don't see people really learning on this how to parawing, let's say. You know, you can go from zero to hero wingfoiling, but I'd be very surprised if someone says, hey, let me go to a school that's only teaching parawing and I know no other sports. I really think that this is like a second tier sport to wingfoiling, because to get up and riding on this with no foil experience, it'll be tricky. Same with the K-Wing. Maybe it's a little bit more possible. These are all notes for another video, guys. I'm not gonna bore you anymore. I'm gonna leave you with a view of Cabarete Bay, and have a great day. And thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, reach out if you're planning to come down to Cabarete. We're about to hit the winter time. Now it's August, but if you make it down in winter, give us a shout, or even this next summer, 2026. See you.